Well, hello and welcome to this week's live, our weekend review. I hope your week is going well and things are moving along. It is frigidly cold here in Colorado today, so I will make this quick as I can. It is, however, a lot of news this week. To start off, I want to talk about what happened on the Chill business journey this week. This week, what I did was I took our editorial calendar, which I've talked about many times over the years, and because our theme for the month is ads on social, I specifically looked at some parts of our editorial calendar that relate to social ads or ads on social, like how to keep everything organized for yourself. If you head over to the show notes page, chilldigitalmarketing.com/81, you can snag the free editorial calendar as well as listen to the podcast episode and follow along once you download the calendar. See how you can utilize it to keep your ads on track. And then I'd also like, as a reminder, to invite you to our free Facebook group, the Chill Collaborative for DIY Marketing, because in that group, we take the content from the episodes and continue talking about them in that free Facebook group. So check that out as well. All right, let's get to this week's news on social. Facebook continues to offer support with COVID-19, and they are releasing a tool that's going to help you know the different categories of people that can get the vaccines. Like, this is more vaccine focused, and it's going to be similar to the tool they used for elections. So keep that in mind and head to the platform if you want to stay up to date on vaccinations, where to find them, who qualifies, things of that nature. And they are also visiting a new way of displaying political content and how it's distributed on the platform. And while they're doing this research, they are going to reduce the amount of political content that is seen in the newsfeed for users. They've also released a video series on how to enhance your creatives on Facebook and Instagram. So if you've been struggling with making sure your images look right or the videos look right, check out that series. And then, in light of Safer Internet Day that was on Tuesday this week, they shared new and existing safety features for Messenger. So things like safety notices, app lock, and forwarding limits. So give that a read as well. In Instagram news, they announced that they're updating their processes to tackle abuse on their platform. And one of the ways is getting tougher with DMs. They have limited searching that they do of DMs because those are private messages, but they are going to be tougher on those. So it could be upwards of, having your account disabled. So be on the lookout for those changes. They've also announced that they're going to start making content less discoverable on Reels. They have that prominent place in Explore now. If it is low quality videos, really pixelated and blurry, and if it has watermarks, that it's being reused from other platforms. So keep that in mind. How many Reels do you see that have the TikTok watermark on it, where people are just repurposing from their TikTok videos they're doing? So they're going to make those less noticeable, and who knows what other further, things they're going to do in the Reels area of Instagram to make it harder for those. They're also working on a vertical stories feed. So again, kind of going to that TikTok, scrolling up. You already do that in the regular news feed. So instead of the horizontal and tap that you do now in stories, they're looking at making that a horizontal feed. So be on the lookout for that. In Twitter news, K-pop tweets reached a record 6.7 billion with a B in 2020, and the US came in 5th with that piece of pie. So a fun little stat there. They also released their list of platform tools and policies that they have in place in honor of hashtag Safer Internet Day 21. Did you use that hashtag yesterday? If so, did you get the special emoji that was released when you used it? I didn't do it, so maybe you did. They have also closed down their Ads Transparency Center. This is a resource that they started or opened in 2019 for people to be able to have transparency on ads, specifically for political ads. They have shut that down because political ads are no longer allowed on the platform. However, a lot of people that do studies on ads are kind of upset because with that tool, it wasn't just political ads, it was all accounts and all ads, and any user could look at them. Those are now closed down, so you can get the archive data up until the day they closed it. And they've also expanded their testing group for Spaces from 1,000 to 4,000 users. And Spaces is Twitter's take on Clubhouse. So that's where you can interact in real time on an Audible platform. So it'll be interesting to see how that takes off. And due to lackluster growth in ad sales, Twitter's looking at other ways that they can monetize on their platform and create income. And one thing or one idea that's floating around is charging a subscription for TweetDeck. If you use that tool, it has been free and it's a great resource for keeping track of your tweets, mentions, retweets, as well as feeds, following people. A really useful tool that's been free up until now, so don't be surprised if they start charging for that. In LinkedIn news, they introduced a new Glint in LinkedIn Learning integration that's going to go with Microsoft Viva for an employee experience platform. So if that's something that your business might benefit from, be on the lookout as that's developed. And they're also bringing on account mapping features into Sales Navigator. So that's going to help sales teams know if they're communicating with the right person at the company that they are soliciting to try to get a sale with. So if you use Sales Navigator, look for that new feature. In YouTube news, they announced that they have refreshed their YouTube Sports channel and to make it more immersive for the user, as well as expansion of CTV to offerings in Australia, Canada, India, and Japan. Snapchat also has their answer to TikTok, which they call Spotlight, and it had 100 million users in January. It was released 2 months ago, I believe. So in 2 months, they had 100 million users. And we'll have to wait and see if it takes off. Everybody's jumping on bandwagons of new features, so we'll see which ones stick and which ones don't. In TikTok news for Internet Safety Day, they shared 3 features that parents should know about. That's screen time management, setting comment filters, and direct message restrictions. Who knew? All right, good for them. And they're also incorporating more tools to help with unverified information. So what that's going to look like is a viewer is going to see a message at the top of the video stating that that's unverified information. The person that posted it will get a warning that it's unverified or a message that it's unverified. And then if you go to share that, then they will give you a series of prompts like, are you sure you want to share this? They've also expanded their alliance with Universal Music Group. So that's going to mean better compensations for the artists, but as well as users getting more music that they can create their TikToks with. In other news, Google Analytics is no longer going to pull data from YouTube into the analytics platform. If you're not using it, not a big deal. You can go on about your day. Probably a lot of people weren't using it, so that's why they made the news. Still plenty of analytics you can access within YouTube for your account. In this week's Allyship segment of the week, I want to share with you a site called Nappy. And this is a free image site that you can use if you're looking for more diversity of the people in the images that you use in your social profiles. It's part of the Creative Commons Zero, so they're free. You can share them for both personal and professional reasons. They suggest giving kudos to the photographer, but you don't have to if it's in a situation that you don't want to. But I highly recommend you go check out Nappy for more diverse images for your social and other endeavors. All right, that is a wrap for this week's news. You can get all of those links on the show notes page for Week in Review at chilldigitalmarketing.com/week in review. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.